So a little bit of a different video for today. Today I would like to introduce all of you to Fallen by Perplexing Ruins. It's a baroque and grim fantasy tabletop RPG, and it's basically for people who like Bloodborne or the Victorian era, or if you like dirt and grime and Lovecraftian horror, this might be right up your alley. So inside the book, there is an introduction, and let me read it out. Fallen sits somewhere in the historical precedent of the early modern period, generally speaking Euro-American 1600 to 1850. It is influenced by the clash of superstition and knowledge, of folklore and science, and of faith and independence. I believe the book allows for historical play in these periods and associated settings. However, Fallen is fictional. It aspires to catch a tone and mood more than historical fidelity. Muddy stagecoach routes, cider-serving taverns, dark forests, large estates, alchemy, demons, witchcraft, canals, card parlors, and strange lights in the old bell tower. So that should give you a general idea of what Fallen is like. It's a very grim and dark world, but it is one where it is, as they say here, fictional. So you can inject your own flavor into it. You can make it magical, you can make it Lovecraftian, you can make it more like your favorite settings. And the nice thing about this is that it is more modern, but it is not too modern. So there is still that hint of medievalness to it, and you can use a lot of stuff from your medieval RPGs, such as dungeons and stuff. They'll still fit right in with this campaign and this RPG, but there is this general more modern feel to it that might make it more approachable for people trying to do solo RPGs, which this book is actually really good for. So if we look into here, we can see that the rules are fairly simple. They are player facing, which is always good for a soloist, and they have quite simple abilities here: strength, focus, agility, and will. And in general, the combat is quite brutal, but it's also quite simple. That said, I'm quite new to this system as well in comparison to Mogbog. So if I do play it, I will probably run into some mistakes. So please be understanding of that. So the good thing about this, I think, is that it has just a small amount of crunch, just enough that it can help you tell your story better if you're playing it solo. So similar to Iron Swan, it has success, complication, and miss. In Iron Swan, there will be a strong hit, weak hit, and failure. And basically, there's these skills that your character can use, and your character can use them for a variety of situations. For example, exploration, traversing unknown locales or points of interest. Or you can cast spells, incantation, spellcasting, arcana, and the occult. See incantations for more detail. So if you get a complication, that can allow you to fail forwards. So for example, if you do, let's see here, if you do crafting and you get a complication, you might get a random result, for example. So that might be more interesting than actually getting the success. So that's really cool. Let's start by making a character. Oh, I should also mention Hill Grab. So this is a city crawling supplement that we will not be using. The reason we will not be using it is because it is very good, but it is a bit much. It is a bit overwhelming. We might draw from this from here and there, but we will not be using this as our main source. What we will be using for our starting village is actually, let me try to find it, Schafheim. So this is a village made by yours truly. I made it with my friend Conspite, and it's a plague-ridden shithole for Fallen and other grim RPGs. Schafheim is a small village with around 50 people. They are ruled by Lord Vlander, an incompetent buffoon. The town suffers from a dreadful plague, turning the villagers violent and paranoid. Can you stop it? So, I think this is a really interesting little trifold pamphlet, if I do say so myself. And if you open it up, you basically get a map of the village, and you also kind of get a bunch of rumors and counters, a bunch of other stuff. Everybody's scared of the plague in the town, or village rather, and they burn anybody who they find infected with the plague, and they try to burn them alive for superstitious reasons. Hence the drawing on the front. So I was thinking, we're going to make a character, but part of the character creation, as you will see in here, part of the character creation is actually to find your motivation. So there's depth, honor, duty, wealth, revenge, and zeal. But I would like to frame our motivation around why we entered this shithole of a town, or I keep saying town. I'm going to use that interchangeably with village. I hope that's okay. So I'm going to just roll a d6, and let's see why we came to this village. I got a 1. You live here, my condolences. Okay, I think we want to get out of this village. So we actually start in this village. My question is, are we a newcomer to this village? I think that's a pertinent question to ask. So are we a newcomer? So I'm going to use my D20 Oracle system from Mockbog, but I'm just going to use it for this. So I'm going to roll, and I get a 6. We are not a newcomer. So that's below a 10, so we are not a newcomer. We have been in this village for some time, and maybe our friends have died here, and we want to get out. And we possibly know some of the other people around inside the village, but we wouldn't be too close to them. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. I think that might be an interesting place to start. So this might be at the start of the plague, when everybody is starting to go crazy. So my question is, am I infected with the plague already? Being that I'm in this town, there's some chance that I'm infected with the plague, but I don't want us to start off in that bad of a scenario, so I am not going to say it's likely. I'm going to roll 2d20 and pick the lower one. Am I currently infected with the plague? No, I am not. Okay, that's good. So from here, we can actually create our character. So let's go to character creation. Let's see here. Okay, I think we can actually roll the motivations on this, because yeah, our motivations can matter about why we are trying to get out of the town, or at least why we're trying to stay inside. Let's see. 6. Zeal. I think we're trying to get out because we've wanted to get out of the town or the village from the start. However, this has been our final straw on the camel's back, so to speak, and we want to get out for good. However, the soldiers on the outside of the entrance, or at the entrance, are basically keeping us in due to the plague. They're trying to prevent the spread to other regions. Okay, that's interesting. So let's write our character down, actually. Let's write our character down. This is going to be a bit messy, so bear with me. So motivation, zeal. There we go. What is our name? Let's see here. 16. Samuel. Samuel. There we go. Surname. What's our surname? Yep. 5. Godelana. Godelana? Godelana. Samuel Godelana. Okay. Oh wait, no, I roll on the name. Sorry. 5 is Blackmire. So, whoops. Samuel Blackmire. That's a cool name. Okay. Samuel Blackmire. Let's start with, let's see here. So there's usage dice, which basically begin tracking at UD20. Every time you use your equipment, you roll the usage dice, and if you get 1 or 2, you decrease the UD by 1 step. So it uses a dice tracking system. So I'm going to start our UD off at 20. And gear depletion also uses the same thing. It starts at, let's see here. Yeah, so it starts at 20 as well, I think. You begin with D6 coins. Let's see how many coins that is. 6 coins. Okay, we start with 6 coins. And then after that, I'm going to write my inventory here. Let's see here. So torches, UD, rations, UD. Okay, so we have coins. We got torches, rations, and both of these are under UD. Let's just say we have a, yeah, let's just say we have a cloak of some kind. And we have a nice hat. Oh, nice gloves. Yeah, I think that's good. Nice gloves. Okay, cool. Maybe we can sell that if we really need to. Roll to determine what else you have. So I'm going to roll a d20 3 times. 18. So that's going to be, oops. Let me just put this paper somewhere else. Needle and thread. Okay. Let me write this down. Needle and thread. So that's 1. 1 usage of that. Okay, so we might be able to use that to repair something. Let's see what else we got. 4. That's going to be A grappling hook, okay. Grappling hook. What would Samuel be doing with a grappling hook? We'll find out, I guess. I'm going to use this to basically dictate what kind of character we have. So let's see what the last one is. 10. We have a spyglass. I feel like Samuel is the adventuring sort. A rogue, perhaps. Someone who maybe he steals out of town sometimes using the grappling hook, but he always has to return, otherwise he'll get hunted. But he really wants to get out for good. So I think that might be an interesting start to it. So that's our gear. Let's figure out what weapon we have. See here, 6. We have a saber. That's going to be, I'm going to just write it here. Weapon is a saber, d6 damage. There we go. And the cost is 4 in case we want to sell that off. Protection, let's see. Oh wait, my bad. I already messed up. The 1, 3, and 4 are actually the cost. Okay, that's good to know in case we need to sell it off. But those are not the amount of usages of it. So maybe it's best to erase that and only use it for reference, just so I don't confuse myself. There you go. Okay, protection, let's see. I got 6, which is a cassock. I'm going to replace my cloak with it, actually. Right there, cassock. And it's going to be AV of 2. I'm going to write my saber here as well. Armor is cassock AV2. There we go. So this is what we have on our person. Very nice. Get rid of the dust. And we got a random item as well that might potentially give us more clues about what kind of character we're creating. So let's roll a d4. I hate rolling d4s. They're like caltrops. They poke you and stuff, and it's awful. 3, a random elixir. Okay, that's cool. So that's going to be page 28. Let's go look at that. Okay, here we go. So what kind of elixir do we find? We find 7. Raven's Blood Scourge. Mask all bodily odor and noise for 1 day. Okay, cool. Elixir. Raven's Blood Scourge. I'm gonna write bracket stealth, just so I can remind myself what it is. I'm gonna draw a character, of course, but let's see first. What kind of skills does he have? Let's see here. What kind of skills does Samuel Blackmire have? Distribute 5 points amongst whatever skills you choose. Skill levels max out at 4. So I'm gonna choose a few skills here. I'm assuming that since he is this perhaps the adventuring sort, maybe he'll be good at stealth. That might be one thing that he's good at. I'm gonna go with stealth. I'm gonna go with, let's write skills here. Stealth of, I think we're gonna go with 2. What else do we got? Let's see. I think since he's lived here for a while, he is probably good at diplomacy as well. They call it polite deception, which I like a lot. Diplomacy of perhaps yeah, let's go with 2. And lastly, I think investigation of 1, because I think this might be interesting to find out what's really going on with the plague. All right, there we go. But yeah, we're gonna be drawing our character, Samuel Blackmire. Okay, let's see here. Let's actually write out the name properly. Let's do this proper. Put this in. There we go. Ooh, let's do that. Okay, Samuel Blackmire. Let's draw him up a bit. What is he going to look like? Samuel Blackmire. I think he's going to look... Actually, can we maybe get an appearance for him from the generators here, possibly? Is there anything like that? That might be interesting if we can do that. Ah, here we go. Personality and traits. Yeah, we can use this. Yeah, actually, let's use this. Okay, so let's use personality and traits to figure out what Samuel is like, and then we can draw him from there. 14. Fatalistic. Holy shit. I don't know if I want my main character to be fatalistic, but that's interesting. I guess he doesn't care if he's gonna live or die. His motivation is zeal. Fatalistic. What would that mean in the context of this? I think his goal might not be to escape the village. It might be to get revenge of some sort. I mean, there's a revenge motivation, but this might play into this, where he's fatalistic. He doesn't care if he's gonna die as long as he takes down Lord Vlandé. I think he suspects that Lord Vlandé is the one who spread the plague. He saw his loved ones get burned at the stake for it, And I think that ties into his fatalistic view on things. So we already determined he's kind of a rogue. But what is his reputation? Yeah, what is his reputation? This is basically used for rivals, I think. But I think this can be used for us as well. Let's see here. Like, he's kind of an anti-hero, so let's go with this. 4. Controlling and risk-taking. Okay, so we know that about Samuel now. Let's see here. Samuel is going to be... I think he's going to have heavy bags under his eyes. I think he's going to be very, very worn out. He maybe has matted hair. Long matted hair. And maybe like thick eyebrows. Maybe he's not the most handsome looking individual. Samuel Blackmire. He really wants to take down a Lord Vlander and he's fatalistic. I don't think if you're fatalistic you're gonna shave all that much. If you're like willing to die for your cause, I don't think you're gonna shave. For some reason that's what I immediately think of. So I think something like that. And maybe, yeah, let's just go like that. We already know that he's fatalistic and he basically doesn't care about whether he lives or dies or whether he gets the plague or not. He just wants to take down Lord Vlander. So that's an interesting start to a character, I must say. So I think his goal is not to get out of the village. That might be a secondary goal of his. But I think his main goal is that he wants to take down Lord Vlander, who he believes is responsible for the plague. Okay, I'm gonna actually draw the rest of his head. Let's see here. Nice. Okay. He is not the prettiest looking fellow, but he's the hero we got. Quote unquote hero. We know he's fatalistic, we know he's full of zeal, and we know that he'll do anything to stop Lord Vlander. And we know that he's basically the sort who tries to control people. So that's not a very nice person, but we'll go with that. Why not? So Samuel Blackmire. We have his skills, we have his inventory. Is there anything else we missed out? Oh yeah, we need his rank written down. So I believe you start at a rank of D6. Yeah, rank of D6. So I'm gonna write 6 out of D6. So this is gonna represent our health and it's also gonna represent our level. I think we're gonna start off in randomly one of these places here. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go with that. So let's see which house do we start in? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we start off near the gate, so to speak, or we start off near the gate and the town square. Yeah, so I think at this point, right, what do we know about Lord Vlander? We know that he basically comes out every once in a while to give a speech, but how far into the plague are we? I think that's a pertinent question to ask. Let me actually read out the rules for the plague before I go any further. The village is infested with a plague, and people have taken to burning any infected that they find. The infected are burned while they are still alive for superstitious reasons. If you are infested with the plague, you grow bulbous pus spots somewhere on your body. For every person you interact with, there is a 1 in 6 chance that they have the plague, which they will immediately spread to you. The symptoms start to show after D4 hours. Day 1, light spots appear on your skin. Day 2, the spots grow larger, filling with pus. Day 3, resting stops healing you, the spots grow larger. Day 4, every hour there is a 1 in 6 chance of taking D4 harm. Day 5, you start hallucinating, the spots talk to you. Day 6, you die. You take a dose of the temporary antidote, there is a 3 in 6 chance that, so basically 50% chance that the symptoms will be delayed for a day per dose. Alright, we already know that we are not infected yet. I'm gonna say that this is at the start of the plague. So it's maybe a few days have passed and we have seen this thing happen, and due to religious reasons, everybody in the village is actually burning people at the stake, and we have reason to believe, for some reason, we believe that Lord Vlander is behind this. Why do we think that Lord Vlander is behind this? I guess is the question. So for that, I'm actually going to use the oracle that is actually provided by the fallen author. There we go. It's a very simple D66 oracle. Okay, let's see. Why does Samuel think that Lord Vlander is to blame for this? Let's see, 43. Elegy, a key. Alright, so I think the key makes a bunch of sense here. Maybe he found, because we know he's a rogue, we know that he steals into people's houses. Maybe he found some kind of information in one of the houses that pertains to this. Like maybe he found some sort of evidence. What kind of evidence is this? I'm going to go with a verb and a noun. So we're going to roll on this D100 table as well. So he basically stole into someone's house and found some kind of evidence that makes him believe that Lord Vlander is behind the plague. So what is that evidence? 43. Let's see here. 43. That's debate. Okay. Debate what? I'm going to go with a noun. Debate research. Okay. So there was some kind of research being done, and there was some kind of debate going on about that research. So I think the house of the person who he raided is of the plague doctor. The plague doctor basically came here saying that he's going to delay the symptoms of the plague, but perhaps it is a way to make money because they also sell an antidote, a temporary antidote. So this might be a case where the plague doctor actually has some kind of letters to Lord Vlander, and basically the plague doctor has been corresponding with him, and he found something that suggests that perhaps the plague doctor is working with Lord Vlander. I'm going to leave it open for now, but it's a high probability that Lord Vlander is basically behind this mess, and the plague doctor is in on it. So I think the main thing that he's going to do, he needs a plan, right? I think the first thing he's going to do in the morning is he wakes up and he basically is in media res. So I want it to be an inciting incident. So one of his relatives or friends is basically being burned at a stake in the town square. Let's go with that. So what's our relation to this person? Is it a relative or is it a friend? Let's say, is it a relative? 50-50. No, it is a friend of some sort. Let's see, who is it that is being burned at the stake that we know? Let's see here. NPC. Create a random NPC. It's here. Okay, so we're gonna roll on this. Who is this NPC? It's gonna be a 6. A rogue. So it's somebody who is like us, a rogue, maybe a thief who is a friend of ours. What is his personality? Got a 6. That's going to be timid. I think he's a timid rogue. He's somebody that maybe Samuel brought under his wing to basically teach the trade of being a rogue, and he's being burned at the stake. Samuel wakes up, he smells the wafting fire, and maybe they have only burned a few people at the stake, and this unlucky fellow is one of them. What is his name? We just need a first name, I think. See here, 6 again. Antonia. Okay, Antonia. Antonia is being burnt at the stake. She's screaming out loud because she's so timid. And Samuel, I think, what does he do? He comes out of his house, he sees his friend being burnt at the stake, he sees this large crowd around them. How many people are in the crowd? Let's see here. How many people are in the crowd? I'm gonna say D10 plus 5. Ooh, only 6 people are in the crowd. Okay. So 6 people are in the crowd. And the question is, in addition to these 6 people, is there Lord Vlander and his guard captain, who is, let's see here, Captain Keldvik, a dour brick wall of a man. So there's a high likelihood that the Lord is here as well, overseeing this burning. So I'm gonna say that's likely. So we're gonna pick the higher one. No, they are not. So not at all actually, but I got an 8, which means that maybe one of them is there. Maybe the guard or the... Yeah, let's say maybe the guard or the Lord is there. Is the Lord there or is the guard there? Let's say, is the guard there? No. So it is just the Lord alone. Maybe with 1 or 2 guards, but not with the guard captain. Does Samuel think... I think he already knows about this. Or at least he thinks that the Lord is behind all of this. But it's too risky to try to take a frontal attack here. What can he do? I think at this point, we know that Samuel is controlling, we know he's a bit of an anti-hero. Is he able to keep himself under control, I guess? So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna look at the fear rules. So there's a rule for taking fear, and I think this might count, especially since, you know, his friend is being burnt at the stake. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. When you come face to face with something horrifying for the first time, you must test your will. 2d6 plus will. Oh, I've forgotten to give him the primary stats. I'm so stupid. I've forgotten to give him the primary stats. Oh, well, that's okay. We can actually decide the stats now that we know what kind of person he is. So that actually works out in our favor. So let's see. Assign modifiers 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So we're gonna go with let's see here, strength, focus, agility, and will. Let's see here, 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be, I think his strength is going to be a 1, his focus is going to be a 2, his agility is going to be a 0, and his will is going to be a 3. We know that he's a very strong-minded individual, I think. Or at least I like to hope so. Let's see, fear. 2d6 plus will minus the foe's fear rating. So I think the fear rating here is going to be, let's say, a 2. Yeah. So 2d6 plus 3 minus 2, that's 2d6 plus 1. And we're going to have to try to get a complication or a pass. So let's see here. 2d6. I think that's fine. Yep, we pass, no problem. So I have a reference sheet here actually. It's a very small font, but it covers all of the rules of the game. And it basically says here that if it's 1 to 6 is a miss, 7 to 9 is a complication, and 10 plus it is a success. So we got a 10 plus and plus 1, so that's an 11. So it is a success. We're able to get ourselves under control, and we're able to kind of like survey the surroundings. We see 6 people, we see a lot with maybe 2 guards of his. Have they just started burning? Is there any chance that we can get Antonia down? I think it's very unlikely. It's very unlikely. Let's see. Is there any chance that Antonia can be saved, or is it like halfway through the burning process? Is there any chance? Oh, there is a chance. Okay, so we took the lower one. So there is a chance that Antonia can be saved. Do we want to take the risk of angering this gigantic crowd of people, as well as the Lord and the 2 guards? It would be suicide, and I don't think that Samuel does it. I think Samuel is forced to watch his friend burn at the stake, while the Lord is like, perhaps like laughing, or perhaps watching on with glee. That's a good question. Is the Lord evil? Because we know that he's an incompetent buffoon, but is he evil? So let's ask that question right now. What is his mood during all of this? Is he... I don't think he will show glee, so I think that's unlikely. Is he showing any sort of glee at this person being burned at the stake? No, he is not. He is not looking happy that one of his village folk is being burned at the stake. And I think once the burning is finished, he goes up onto the podium and he speaks to the crowd and he tells them, yeah, what does he tell them? Let's see here. 1-1. Broken. A devil. This plague is the devil's work, but I have found somebody who might be able to rein it in. And I think at this point he introduces the plague doctor. We do not know his name, we only know him as the doctor. He comes from a far-off land, and he offers an antidote, at least a temporary one, while we are trying to get this under control. Does he sway the crowd? I don't know. It's a 50-50, I'd say. Oh, he barely does. I think some people in the crowd are swayed, and I think some people are like put a bit more at ease. And I think a few people even go to the plague doctor, giving them some of their coins in order to get a dosage of the antidote. So the antidote is actually sold at 3 coins per dose. So I think they make a fair bit of change from that. So I think Samuel looks at this with this kind of quiet rage burning up within him. And I think at this point, he can't take this anymore. And he goes to the gutted rodent. But on the way, they haul Antonia's body out onto the corpse pit. So I think he can see it on his way to the gutted rodent, and he kind of averts his eyes a little bit. I think he averts his eyes and he stops and he turns and he forces himself to look at Antonia's body as it's tossed into the corpse pit. And he mutters under his breath that he's gonna get the Lord Vlade for this. So he goes into the gutted rodent, and let's see here. I think he grabs a drink, maybe. I think he'll be likely that he knows the tavern owner, Glurtz. But is he on good terms with Glurtz? Is he on good terms with Glurtz? I don't know, maybe. No, he is not. I think he has a tab with Glurtz. And I think at this point, if he wants to get some kind of like rumors or something, he's going to have to pay Glurtz to even enter the tavern. I think he's off limits here. So I think he's drunk too much. He didn't pay his tab, and I think Glurtz sees him coming in. He's like, "Nope, you're gonna have to pay your tab if you want to come in here and drink some stuff and talk to the rest of the good folk." So I'm gonna say that this is a D4. How much money has Samuel built up in tabs? 2. Okay, I think he's gonna pay that. So he pays 2 coins to have the privilege of coming in here, grabbing a drink, maybe talking to the rest of the townsfolk. So I think it says here that it's the only tavern in town. The ale is rumored to be made from fermented rats. The ale loosens the paranoid villagers up and makes them more prone to spill some rumors. So I think it's very likely that he gets a rumor or two here, and I'm actually going to roll on that. So we know that he has some investigation skills, so we're just going to roll a 2d6, I think. Let me just check this. Gather useful information, find something useful, uncover a hidden detail. Okay, so let's see. It's going to be a 2d6 plus 1. Yeah. Ooh, holy crap. That is a very good success. So I'm going to say that he gets, yeah, that's, holy shit, that's a 6 and a 6. So I'm going to say that he gets 2 rumors. So what rumor does he hear from the rest of the villagers? Let's see here. 1. Lord Blundy made a deal with the plague doctor. I think this deepens his suspicion of it because it's a rumor, but he already has evidence for it. If the rest of the villagers are speaking about this too, then he must think it's real. So I think in his mind, he's made up his mind. Like Lord Vlander is in league with the plague doctor. This has set it in stone. So let's roll for the next rumor. 3. Someone rich is buried with their treasure nearby. Okay, interesting. Someone rich is buried with their treasure nearby. Maybe this is something that's known, but in order to distract the villagers, I think Lord Vlander maybe caused this plague with the plague doctor and is basically distracting people from this treasure that he's trying to unearth himself. I think that's the story that goes together in Samuel's head. Whether that's true or not, we'll figure out. So I think as we walk out of the tavern, we run into an encounter. I think that's likely. But before that, we have a 1 in 6 chance of getting the plague. So do we get a plague? No, we do not. Okay, good. So we go out onto the streets, and I think we find ourselves with some kind of encounter. What kind of encounter is it? 5. A merchant offers a bargain for D6 coins. What kind of thing is he selling? Firstly, we're gonna roll for the coins. There's 1 coin. He's gonna sell it for 1 coin. Okay. What is it? 2. Black poison. Yeah, no, we're gonna get that immediately. We're gonna grab that. Black poison. This is gonna be pretty useful, I think. Nice, yeah. But Samuel is down to 3 coins. Okay. We have some sort of black poison given to us by some kind of merchant. I think he sees us and he sees that we're the roguish sort, ne'er-do-well scum, and he basically offers us this black poison for a bargain of a price. So that's awesome. So I think we're gonna spend the day looking for information. So the question is, where do we look for information about this? We know that we cannot go to Lord Vlander's manor, it's probably guarded. We already looked for information at a tavern. There is the plague doctor. Maybe we can talk to them, see what they're looking for. Yeah, let's go with that. I think we go over to the plague doctor's house, or rather their makeshift shop, and we ask them some questions. So we meet up with this plague doctor, and they're never without their mask. We don't even know their name, or even their gender. We don't know like what they are. And they sell this temporary plague antidote for 3 coins per dose. They purport to have a way to delay the symptoms of the plague, and they attempt to enlist our help. So they attempt to enlist our help. Do we agree to this? I think Samuel is curious as to what kind of help this plague doctor requires. Yeah, I think he's gonna agree to it. So the plague doctor leans in and says, "You must keep this a secret. Understand? Only between you and me." I think, does the plague doctor know who we are? He's new to the town, but he is quite well versed in what he's doing, I think. So I'm gonna say there's a likely chance. Yep, he does. I know you, Samuel. I know you're a rogue. I know that you have skills in thievery and in stealth, and I'm here to offer you a proposition. 6 coins. He holds up this sack of basically the coins in the game are an abstract value. 6 coins can mean a lot more than it sounds. So he says 6 coins. He holds up this sack of jingling coins for a pristine heart of a recently deceased infected. Apparently, the Plague Doctor is really annoyed that the villagers are burning all the infected because he needs the pristine heart of the recently deceased in order to find a cure. Samuel, I think, does not know how to react to this. I think he's gonna say he accepts. Can he try to convince the Plague Doctor to meet him in some kind of secluded region so that they don't give away the secret that the Plague Doctor is trying to find hearts of the recently deceased infected? I think that's likely. I'm gonna say diplomacy, but I'm gonna add a +1 to it. So 2d6, 6, 7, 8. That's gonna be an 11 because +3, and that's going to be a yes. The Plague Doctor goes along with it. So I think Samuel's like, all right, we'll meet up at night. Where do we say we meet up? Yeah, we'll meet up at night behind the tavern. I think he's gonna say behind the tavern, at this time. So I think the Plague Doctor agrees, and Samuel heads out. Like I said, there's a 1 in 6 chance that every person you interact with has the plague. This includes the Plague Doctor. We don't know what's actually going on in the town, so I'm actually gonna roll a 1 in 6. Does the Plague Doctor have the infection? I'm not gonna roll it the next time, but I need to know. Oh, that's a 3. No, he does not. Okay, interesting. So I think at night, I think what Samuel does at night is that he does not go behind the gutted rodent. I think he sneaks around and tries to wait for the Plague Doctor to come. Does the Plague Doctor come alone? That's the question. Does he come alone, or does he come with a guard of some sort? We know that he might be in league with the Lord, so does he come alone? I'm gonna say it's unlikely. Nope, he does not come alone. So he comes along with 1 guard. I think it's very, very, very unlikely that it's the captain of the guard. So is it the captain of the guard? I'm gonna say it's no way. There's no way that's gonna be the case. So I'm gonna roll 3d20 and pick the lowest one. Is it the captain of the guard? No, it is not. It's a 1. So it's actually a very lowly guard. Okay, interesting. So he comes along with this very lowly guard, and I think Samuel sees them coming. He has an opportunity to try to capture the Plague Doctor, but he has to get rid of the guard first. So how is he going to do this? I think he's going to use his stealth to try to gain an advantage of some kind. So that's going to be a 2d6 plus the 2. And I think I'm going to give him a +1 as well because he has a drop on them. So again, he gets another +1. Oh, that's a failure. That's going to be a 6. That is a complete and abject failure. They see him. So what is the consequence for this stealth roll screwing up so badly? Suffer fate. Let's see here. I think suffer fate in this case, usually you can roll on it, but I think I know what this means. I think they see him coming, and I think they see him with maybe his saber out, and I think they know what's going on. They immediately enter into combat. So let's see here, combat rules. Actually, I have the combat rules right here as well. So, violence. Initiative starts with a modifier of 0. Roll d6 for each round to determine initiative. So let's see here, who goes first? Actually, I'm not going to roll for that. The foes move first because we failed on our stealth roll. So, the foes move first. Okay, that's bad. So, what we're going to have to try to do is we're going to try to defend with a 2d6 plus agility modifier, and agility is 0. So we're going to have to take some damage, possibly from the guard. Oh my god! That's bad. That's really, really bad. Okay, so we take a miss, which means we reduce it by 1 rank. I think the guard spins around, sees this, he thrusts with his sword, and it's at rank 4 out of D4. which is very bad. If we miss an attack one more time, we will just die outright. So, does Samuel keep going on with this? I think he's gonna go try to go for it. Yeah, I think he's gonna try to go for it, but this is a good chance to explain some of the mechanics here. So these stats here, strength, focus, and will, can be made to be equals to 0, and you can use them to have an extra dice in your roll. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say Samuel uses his focus, and now so I'm gonna erase this out. Now basically he doesn't have focus for the rest of the day. Once he rests, he will be able to regain his focus, but for now it's equals to 0, so he can't use his focus. But he's also going to get one more dice, and he's gonna need it. And then we're gonna see what happens. There's gonna be a strength. Oh, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He does it. So he's able to actually deal a wound to the guard. So the question is, was the guard a D4 or a D6? I'm gonna say it's a 50-50 chance. So was the guard stronger than average, I guess? He was barely, oh my god. So basically, he swings with his saber and the guard gets damaged down to D4. What does the Plague Doctor do during this? Does he run or does he stay to watch what happens? We have both dealt each other pretty bad damage. I'm thinking it's a 50-50. What does he do? I was gonna say, does he flee? No, he basically stays and watches. Next turn, we're gonna have to see about this. Oh my god, okay. This might be it. Let's see. Initiative. Oh, he moves first. Oh no, 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 no. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say that Samuel also uses his will. He needs to be able to pass this. So I'm gonna roll a 3d6. And that's going to be added to his agility, which is 0. And let's see, is he able to dodge this attack from this guard? That's gonna be yes. He is able to. But he's not able to use his focus or will for the rest of the day. I'm assuming that the rest of the day means the next day. So he's able to dodge this attack, and he's able to, let's see here, success. Parry and deal 1 harm to the opponent. Okay, so basically that goes down to 3. Okay, so now I'm going to roll, and I think at this point, Samuel is gonna try his best to destroy the guard in 1 blow. Oh no! So that's a 4 plus 1. So that is, oh my god, that is a miss. So the guard currently has 3 HP left, right? But that's going to be a miss. I get a -1 to the next initiative test. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. So the guard's health is 3d4. Next turn. Actually, I think that the Plague Doctor is seeing that Samuel is losing the fight, so I think it's likely that he stays. So is it the fact that he stays? Yes, he does stay. So he keeps watching the fight, maybe with a vested interest, and Samuel keeps fighting as well. So I'm gonna say initiative. The guard goes again. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to use my final dice here. So I cannot use the strength for the modifier later on, but I need to be able to dodge this damage. If I get a full weapon wound, I'm dead. So, oh my god, I'm so glad that I did that. I barely make it, so I'm barely able to dodge the guard's attack, and now I can't use my strength, so it's just a 2d6 with no modifiers. Let's see here. Oh no! I'm just unable to deal any damage to this guard. Oh no. Okay, next round. Guard goes again. The guard keeps going, and this time I can't do anything about this. It's gonna be a 2d6. That's gonna be a 9. I'm gonna take the opponent's harm. I'm gonna say it's a d4. So that might be it. Might be it. 2. So I'm almost dead. This random guard. I'm gonna deal my blow. I think at this point we have to flee. At the start of the next turn, I try to turn tail and run. Or does Samuel try to surrender? That's a good question. Because at this point, it's very likely that he's going to die to this guard. Yeah, let's see. What's the fleeing rules for this? To flee, test 2d6 plus will, which is gonna be 0. 10 plus escape, always take 1 harm if playing a melee. Oh shit. I think Samuel has no choice. He has to surrender. He surrenders. And I think at this point, Samuel is arrested by the guard. Now the Plague Doctor and Lord Blunday know that Samuel is on to them. So I think Samuel is going to be arrested. He's completely weakened. He can't do anything. And I think he's going to be taken to the dungeon. I think that's a good point to call it for today. That's a horrible, horrible series of events. Holy shit. But that was really, really fun. That was really fun.